means that they are struggling with this distance, as would be expected from any crew.
Yeah, I think the adrenaline at the start really kicks in, and most crews want to get off to a fast start. And it's well known at Henley that it's a psychological advantage, if you like, to be ahead by the time you pass the end of Temple Island. However, you don't want to spend all your energy in those first 50 metres or so getting off to a good start. So it's a bit of a balancing game with the energy and the endurance that you've still got in your legs and arms as you come towards the finish. These crews, yeah, it's going to be tricky. They'll be feeling the pain now. Have they got the mental strength as well to keep up the pressure? Can Dundee maintain their lead?
Absolutely. I think these development fours, they'll be feeling the nerves on the start line there. Probably the first time most of them have raced down here on the Henley course. First time into the booms and experiencing the noise of the enclosures as they come down through towards the finish line. But we can see there it's looking like a pretty comfortable victory there for the crew from Dundee University. And we have the second round of this development Cox Fours on the course now, between Edinburgh University A and Leeds Rowing Club C crew. And have a look here, it looks like this time it's Edinburgh University that have got out again into that lead right off the end of Temple Island.
We see there, just as we mentioned earlier, that Leeds Rowing Club, this is their C crew for this event, which means their third crew they've entered for this event. Fantastic to see such a strong cohort from Leeds Rowing Club, meaning they can enter 3 crews into this event. This is great news for the future of the club. Leeds Rowing Club are traditionally quite a strong crew, quite a strong club, and having a C crew means that hopefully in a few years' time we should be looking at rowers from all across this club really competing to the higher echelons of the sport.
I've got to declare a bit of an interest here in that I went to Leeds University and I know recently they've had the new boathouse opened at Leeds, which has been really important in developing both Leeds Rowing Club but also the university. There's even a bit of GB start action happening up there, and so it's great to see another club from the north really thriving at the moment. But as they come past us here in the commentary booth, it is the crew
We've got
from Edinburgh University
leading, with some clear water between them and Leeds. Ever so sorry there, Steve, but they could still make it up. Edinburgh looking like they're well together, looking quite strong there, push away with the legs. Leeds trying to catch them quite far over towards the boom, so I hope that Cox has got his eye on the game there from Leeds Rowing Club. Steering a nice straight line for them.
Edinburgh are arguably one of the best collegiate rowing programmes in the UK. You can see they're really dominant lead, and even from this in some of the more junior crews they've put together, you can see a really strong position that the crews are managing to maintain. Fantastic to see, even from the babies on the rowing scene, if you like.
And it's such a benefit for these girls to be around that squad system, to be in and around training those athletes that are at the upper end of the sport, and that in itself will help them generate a bit of speed, just to even be up close and see what the fast boats really look like. Will no doubt help them, and it's helping them here today as Edinburgh University continue, move well together, good rhythm, and extending that lead away from Leeds.
Yeah, I think the larger rowing clubs as well give rowers the opportunity to try out different styles of rowing, sculling or sweep, single sculls obviously, rowing in a crew. They're all different skills and different mindsets that rowers need to bring to their game, and sometimes it takes a while to find out what your place is, where you need to sit in the boat, whether it is on your own or as part of a crew, and be able to work together.
You can see there, we were talking about earlier, that community aspect within Edinburgh. If you look on the arm of one of the girls, they see a yellow stripe. That's one of the tops of the Rowing Together for Healthy Minds programme, which just shows that the whole community of rowing is really reaching out to encompass all different aspects of the sport, such as mental health, which is such an important thing we really should focus on in the next few years.
Yeah, mental health has really come to the fore now. There's it's been talked about so much more, as have the aspects of exercise, releasing those endorphins, and how good it is to help people who do suffer from mental health problems. And I think rowing's a great sport for that. You row with other people, usually you're part of a crew, part of a club, and it does help people to meet some of the challenges that they find.
It's fantastic to see that community aspect in rowing. You know, many people sitting at home will imagine that rowing is some elitist sport, but as we can see here, there is a fantastic community atmosphere, even at the lower ends of the sport, and it really is just fantastic to see programs like RTHM, Rowing Together for Healthy Minds, really allowing clubs across the country to come together and bond over such an important issue.
And on the screens now we have the next round of this development Coxed Fours, a race between Molesey Boat Club and York University. And Molesey Boat Club, as they've passed us here in the commentary booth, have moved out to just about a clear water lead. I was having a quick chat with Phil Burgundy, the head coach of Molesey, earlier on. He's got something like 13 crews racing down here today, so he is flying around the trailer park like a madman. But they're obviously going all right as these development Coxed Fours move out, and I think it's just about, as I say, open up to clear water over York Uni.
As we watch these last few crews from the development Coxed Fours coming down, we can give you a quick roundup of the results from the lightweight singles. So in our first race this afternoon, we had Oxford University Lightweight Women's Rowing Club facing off against Canterbury Rowing Club. Oxford Scholar came out on top there after a really tight race. Following on from that, we had Aberdeen Boat Club come out on top of more like Anglian and Alpha Boat Club, which means Oxford University will race Aberdeen tomorrow. After that, we had Peterborough City Rowing Club beat Imperial College London, and University of Surrey beat Canterbury Rowing Club, seeding the next set of what I imagine will be semi-finals for this, the aspirational lightweight singles at Henley Women's Regatta.
Looking back towards these development Coxed Fours, and I see that Molesey crew really in their rhythm now, which is great to see. Really in command of that race, so they'll be happy with that. Phil, as the head coach, will be happy they've got out to that clear water result, and they'll be on to thinking about the next race tomorrow as we look back down the course and we move into what is race 71, Bristol University Racing Agecroft. We've seen some great results from the Agecroft crews today, and hopefully their development fours are going to carry on that run of success.
We seem to get these peaks and troughs within clubs all over the country, and at the minute Agecroft seems to be one of those peaks. They've all through the ranks, right from the elites right down to the developments. They really seem to be producing some really strong athletes, both mentally and physically, and that's playing into their hands really well here at Henley Women's Regatta. We're seeing some incredibly strong crews come up against some pretty established crews from other universities, and they just seem to be no match.
Yeah, it's good to see a club that's got such a depth of talent to pull from, to be able to field so many crews at an event like this.
Fantastic to see as they come down the course now towards our commentary position. It's close between the two crews from Agecroft Rowing Club and Bristol University, making it a fantastic watch for those on the bank and all of you at home.
As we said, I think we've given it the curse of the commentator as University crew are now edging in front of Agecroft as they come up to the commentary booth here.
I've done it before today. It seems that my words have more power than I realised. So
it's still very tight though.
It is very tight. It is very tight, and that is probably one of the most fantastic things about these these lower ends of the fours with the cogs is the rowers can really focus on just putting the power down, and the cogs can just focus on making sure they hopefully don't hit the booms.
And Bristol just putting a push on there. I could hear the cogs calling for it. The crew have responded. They've pulled ahead ever so slightly, but it looks like Agecroft have got an answer for that push as well. They're not letting this go. Both the crews glancing across at each other, making sure that they're not getting too far behind here.
So some great shots at the drone coming in.
Yeah.
This is the time now for these two boats. Keep the eyes in the boat. Don't worry about what's happening outside. Just focus on the rhythm. Listen to the calls from the cocks. We're in for a cracking race. That University crew, they've moved out to a small lead, but haven't really gone anywhere from there. Agecroft sticking with them. They'll need to start. If they want to get in front, they'll need to start responding in the next 100 metres or so before they let this University crew get away from them.
As you see them come now together into the regatta enclosure, that wall of sound will hit them as their supporters, friends, family on the bank, we're shouting them on. But it looks like it's the University crew from Bristol that just seems to be pipping Agecroft University as they come to the last few hundred metres towards the line.
They've got to keep the pressure on though. Both crews have still got a lot to give here. They're both very hungry to get through to the next round. Can even see some smiles there from Agecroft.
Very distinctive clothing they've got on there, Bristol University. Currently mistaken for any other crew. That checkerboard, maroon and black, very distinctive. Almost quite intimidating to an opposition that knows the talent that comes through those programmes.
I'd say it looks to me that University of Bristol crew, they've got just that extra little bit of length, just down into that slightly more solid rhythm, I would say, which is helping them just eke out this length of slight lead on the Agecroft crew. And moving out towards about half a length now, coming past the camera position there. And so important for these development crews to make sure they've got that rhythm embedded right when the pressure's on and they're side by side with the opposition.
Fantastic shots on the water here, allows us to really see the technique of the individual athletes in the boat and how they come together to propel what they hope is a fantastic row that will hopefully carry them to victory in this, the development Cox Fours.
And that's the last race of the developers Cox Fours, just going towards the finish line now. And we've got the aspirational lightweight scullers coming next. 4 races from them.
So as we look on the Berkshire station, we have Greenbank Rowing Club, Falmouth against Bristol City on the Buckinghamshire station.
And we've got Lewis rowing for Greenbank and, how am I going to say this, Titian rowing for Bristol City Rowing Club in race number 72, which is just coming up towards the end of the island. Looking fairly well matched. Looks like they've had a great clean start there. Both scullers quite spread apart on the course.
So Sarah Lewis from Greenbank Falmouth Rowing Club making the slightly long trip up here from the bottom of the country to compete at Henley Regatta against her component Chunte Chusen, the pronunciation of which I have completely and utterly messed up. From City of Bristol Rowing Club, their B crew. Again, just demonstrating the real strength that we see nowadays in the lightweight single sculls.
I thought that was a great effort. Great pronunciation.
I think so.
Greenbank.
Cheeson decided on that.
It's great to see Greenbank here, one of only 2 rowing clubs in Cornwall, row on Stillions Lake. And it's fantastic, as I say, to have them representing the southwest here today. And of course against the Bristol crew as well. One of these two will have raced each other on the Weir scene. If anything, the Greenbank sculler for me slightly lower on the rate, but relying on that length of stroke.
And the power in the legs. Yeah. If it's an efficient stroke, the rate can go down, yeah.
Still really tight racing there from these 2 scholars from Greenbank and City of Bristol, Sarah and Chunta, 166 and 167. Next to each other in the numbers, in the tables, and as it seems to be on the course here as well, just going barrel ball for barrel ball as we carry on down the Henley stretch. can see there the back of the Bristol Sculler there, really strong position, engaging at the front, driving through, and allowing her to keep pace with her opposition from Greenbank. As we continue to come down now, we can just see, as we said earlier, the Greenbank Sculler just starting to edge out on her competition. There's fantastic water level shots allowing us to see her technique. And looking very calm, composed, still holding that rate, just edging out on her competition. Fantastic stuff. And as we head back up to the start, we've got the start of our next aspirational lightweight single sculls with Thames Rowing Club and Cardiff University.
So we've got Fuller from Thames Rowing Club. This is race number 73, and Haynes from Cardiff University. Both clearing the end of the Temple Island any moment now. And it does look like Thames have got a slight advantage here, but very, very early stages in this race at the moment.
So Elizabeth Fuller of Thames Rowing Club, training on the Tideway, has that experience of longer outings along one of Britain's busiest stretches of river for rowing. You can see the advantage that's given her just as she starts to open up that lead that she hopes will carry her through to a win in this heat of the aspirational single sculls.
That's it. Looking back just up the track there now, I can see the Sculler from Greenbank just coming through to take the win. Now the rate's popped up slightly as we head towards the finish line, so she'll be chuffed with that. A win for Greenbank and heading on into tomorrow. And then as we look at the Thames Sculler, as you say, they're moving out. Amazing to see Thames have got 43 athletes competing at Henley Women's this year, which is an incredible achievement and testament to all the hard work from the coaching team and the committee members in the background, putting that structure in place, allowing everybody to get out and take part. And looking here, like this Thames Sculler is taking charge of this race as they come up towards the barrier.
Like we say, fantastic to see such a strong cohort from Thames Rowing Club this year. Of course, we have 4 races lined up at this stage in the afternoon for the aspirational lightweight singles. The winners of these races will go on to compete head-to-head against each other in tomorrow as we enter the quarter, semis, and eventually on Sunday afternoon, the finals of this, the aspirational lightweight single sculls at Henley Women's Regatta 2019.
So we've got race 74 on the course now, Wallingford, Slater rowing for them, and Bristol City Rowing Club with Fullman.
Wallingford Rowing Club, an incredibly strong programme in recent years. We see them, many of the big three leading up to Henley Royal Regatta, dominating not only in the small boats, but also looking up into the 8s and 4s. I think they will come through really strong. The coaching there produces some fantastic athletes that have gone on to, in a few cases, some international representation.
Absolutely. Having a look at the start now, the Wallingford sculler is coming right across over to the opposition. The umpire's flag is out and waving. She needs to do something about this quickly. That's it. Hard on that bow side or moving over. The umpire's still waving the flag. Hopefully that's not impeding the opposition. She needs to move back over onto station, which she's doing now. But that big dog leg then gives her opposition the chance to get back into that race, and you need to recognise that. Jump on the power, up the stroke rate for a couple of strokes, try and get back into the race.
And it looks like she might have done just that. Despite that big dog leg, like you said there, she seems to still be in contact with her opposition. Fantastic to see, and as we've seen so many times coming off the start of Temple Island, that sort of foreboding shadow of the crews of Temple Island can push many, even the most experienced crews out, forcing them to take quite a dramatic turn back in, forcing the brakes on, and it can spell disaster for many crews, but by the looks of it, not this sculler here.
No, so we've been saying today, it's for these coxless boats, the steersperson, as the Thames sculler wins from the previous heat, the steersperson will always be thinking about the booms in the first 10 or 15 strokes. You can't get away from that thought, because if you hit those booms, it's game over. So you want to try and just be brave, hold that centre line as you're racing up through the gears, try not to do anything too different from training, but then if it does slightly wrong, be aware enough to react, which the Wallingford sculler did. And as they approach us here in the commentary booth, looks like she is now just eking that lead out slightly, taking control of this race. No doubt Ed, that would have got the heart pumping as she approached her opposition.
That would
off the
have
start.
done, you know, we always have the adrenaline off the start line, and that will have just pushed it into overdrive. That little kick out the start, it's not the ideal start to a race, but it doesn't look like it doesn't seem to have affected her that much. Although the sculler from Wallingford is pulling away to what she will hope will be a nice easy victory that will carry her forward into the later rounds of the aspirational single sculls.
Absolutely. We'll keep an eye on this race to see what happens at the end. If the Wallingford sculler does ring, there could well be an appeal that the other sculler was impeded. You'd like to think that may not happen as the Wallingford sculler opens up, but we shall see. We'll keep an eye on the end of that race. But at the moment, it looks like it's proceeding fairly normally as they head on down the course.
Just see there the two scullers coming up. Wallingford, number 158, still leading with a comfortable but not completely decisive lead over her counterpart from Bristol. Bristol Rowing Club we've seen so far this weekend having some really strong scullers and sweep rowers, and hopefully we'll see some clear water between the two scullers as the camera lines up. Yeah, they are really strong row from the girl at Wallingford there, looking calm, composed. You can see in her body, sitting up tall, really enjoying this race as she looks back down her opponent from Bristol.
That's it. Nice relaxed rhythm there. Definitely so important in the single scull to keep that relaxation. It's such a twitchy boat that any sort of tension in the shoulders, in the core, you're going to feel it when you're trying to put that power on. But she's loose and relaxed, helping move out to a comfortable lead now.
Okay, we can bring you some results from that last batch of development coxed fours there. So Cantabrigian won over Surrey University. That was race number 67. In race 68, Bath University won over Dundee. Race number 69, we had Leeds Rowing Club C, who won over Edinburgh University A. Race number 70, Molesey Boat Club lost to York University, and 71, Bristol University won over Agecroft. So that's the results of the coxed development fours. Getting all confused here. Right. So where are we with the lightweight singles here?
Well, as we see, we've got race 74 winding up now. The sculler from Wallingford looking like she's coming through for that victory as we look back down now.
And race number 75 is on the course as Clear Temple Island. We've got Cambridge University Women's Boat Club on the Berkshire Station and Cardiff University on the Buck Station.
So another tight race by the looks of it between these two crews, although I'm sure by the looks of it, the Cambridge Sculler is just opening up her lead at this point in the race. Cambridge University need no introduction, incredibly strong crew, famous of course for their annual boat race against Oxford on the Tideway. Recent years the squad, especially the women's squad, has come on leaps and bounds with I think 3 consecutive wins at that event, and especially with their brand new boathouse out at Ely, what they call Project Ely. It really has paid dividends with the quality of their sculling, as we can see here from Pippa as she comes past the commentary booth. Really nice style, nice high stroke rate as we'd expect to see in the lightweight single sculls, using that stroke to her advantage as she just starts to put down her opposition from Cardiff University.
That's it, she's got a really aggressive rhythm there, even with a couple of lengths of clear water, still stamping her authority on the race as they go through a bit of wash from some of the pleasure boats that have gone by. One of the difficulties you have to deal with here at the course at Henley is you do get a lot of river traffic, and it will affect the lightweight sculls more than most boats, but both scullers look to be handling well, and the sculler from Cambridge Head still really trying to smash away from her opposition.
I've had the absolute privilege in the last few months of watching the scullers out at Cambridge train, especially the lightweight squads, and with their new coaching team that's coming in all the time, and their new boathouse as we mentioned earlier. Their talents really do know no bounds, and it's just going to be exciting to see where the sport can go over the next few years. We can see there Pippa just opening up her lead. That aggressive rate and style we saw at the start just starting to relax down as we come into the later stages of this race. There's still a really strong stroke from that sculler there. Lovely close up there. You can see her blade work really strong in her position as she catches the water at the front and levers the boat through.
It's great to see also we've got representation from both Oxford and Cambridge here. It's not just about the boat race. Both squads want to carry on, keep that summer racing going, which is great. Great advert for both university programmes, and great to see them here racing down the course, particularly winning races.
The opposition for Pippa from Cardiff University seems to be falling back and realising the power of a sculler from a programme as strong as Cambridge. As you can see there in the shot, only our Cambridge sculler can be seen as she continues to dominate this race. The last of the aspirational lightweight single sculls at Henley Women's Regatta.
Yes, and after this race we've got the aspirational double sculls coming up, and race number 76 is already underway on the course with Sheffield City on the Berkshire Station